Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you guys are still enjoying the show. Please remember to send any more questions that you have to us via our Facebook line together with our WhatsApp group. And also remember to download the app because we've got lots and lots of information there for you. Right about now, we're going to jump into a question that was sent through to us by Nikilita. So let's just have a look at the question.
Hi Tenfold, my name is Nikki from North Riding High School. Please help me with this question.
Okay. Looking at that question, we can see that there's some work that needs to be done. Now, please, guys, don't be alarmed by looking at graphs and think that a graph is a difficult thing. A graph is just a representation of a lot and lots of information that you can just take out and then do something with them. Remember, maths is a sport. So let's just have a look at what the question says and try and help one another on it. So the question reads, the graph of a cubic function is sketched below. So one, the important thing there is this is a cubic function, so we know that. The equation of the curve is given by this. F of x is equals to negative x cubed plus bx squared plus cx minus 3. Now, before I can even go anywhere, I know for a fact that they might want me to find the value of b and the value of c. So already I know what the question is going to be about that will follow. Where b and c are constants, so these are actual values, not variables. And then f of 1 is equal to a 4. Then the second derivative at half is equal to 1. Now we need to first understand what exactly does this mean. So what this means is when x is equal to 1, for this particular function, let me write properly there. Remember guys, my $1 million handwriting is still there, right? But we're improving bit by bit because you all are paying me too much money for me to write for you here. So remember that if x is equal to 1, then y is equals to a 4. And then the other thing is at the second derivative, we call this the point of inflection. So that is the vocabulary that I'm going to be using. This is point of inflection, meaning where the graph is changing its direction. Now let's just jump into the questions and look at what the question says. Determine the value of b and c. So the value of b and c there, I have that. Now, from this, I can already see that I'm given the second derivative. So what I can try is find what the second derivative is and substitute the values and see what it can do for me. So the first thing will be, the first derivative will be equal to negative 3x squared plus 2bx plus c. Remember guys, exponent by coefficient, exponent minus 1. And therefore, the second derivative of this will then be equal to negative 6x plus, remember the exponent is 1 there, so 1 multiplied by 2b is 2b, and then 1 minus 1 is x to the exponent of 0, hence it gives us 1, so it will only be 2b. But I was given that f at the second derivative at half is equals to a 1. That means if I substitute 1 over 2 here, I must get 1 as a final answer. So it will be negative 6 into 1 over 2 plus 2b is equals to, this must be equals to a 1, according to this statement that I have there. Therefore, simplifying this using basic algebra, I know it is going to give me a negative 3 plus 2b is equals to 1. Therefore, the additive inverse of negative 3 will be positive 3, meaning it will be 2b is equals to 1 plus 3. This will be equal to, then 2b will be equals to a 4. Now, to find b, remember the multiplicative inverse there, meaning dividing both sides by 2, I get my b as equals to 2. Now, the first thing after getting this answer is to go back to the equation that we were given and substitute what we found b to be. So the equation was f of x is equals to a negative x cubed plus 2. This is going to be 2x squared. Remember, where there's b, I substitute what I found b to be. Therefore, plus cx minus 3. But that's not where the question ends. The question said we want B and C. Therefore, to find the C, because we just found the B, I will then substitute the coordinates that I was given, which is 1 and, let's just go back and look at what we are given here, 1 and 4. Therefore, we're going to substitute the point 1 and 4. So this will be 4 is equals to, there I have negative into 1 all cubed, plus 2 into 1 all squared, plus C into 1 minus 3. So this gives me negative 1. The additive inverse will give me positive 1. So I have 4 plus 1. Then this will be 1 squared is 1. Multiplied by 2 will be 2. Therefore, additive inverse, remember, it's negative 2. Then C multiplied by 1 is C. The additive inverse of negative 3 will be plus 3. This will be equals to a C. You can always represent it as C is equals to. Working this out, I have 4 plus 1, which is 5, minus 2 is 3, plus 3 is equals to a 6. Therefore, you then conclude B is equals to 2, C is equals to 6, because that's what we wanted you to do. So this will be my final answer for this question. I hope you guys are still with me by now. Let's look at the second question very quick. Now, looking at what we just did right now, you guys need to be aware. When I give you statements, there's nothing that we give you in a question that does not mean anything. And please, because something looks like something, it doesn't mean it is that something. So monkey see, monkey do does not happen here. What you are seeing and what we are telling you must correlate with one another. So that's how you then go to these particular questions. So this second question will then need us to use what we call the point of inflection. So let's look at the question right about it now. The question says, determine the values of x for which the graph is concave up. So graph being concave up, remember, the point of inflection was given there as, let me just write it down. It was given as 1 over 2 and 1, right? Therefore, it means this will mean when the second derivative of x is greater than 0, that's when this graph will be concave up. So I need all the x values that satisfy this particular condition. And if I look at it graphically, this is where the graph is concave up. You can even see it yourself. Concave up meaning it is facing up. Therefore, it means when x is less than that half, so going this way from x, that's where this is concave up. So my solution will be x must be less than 1 over 2, and that's where it is concave up. Now, guys, what we've done right now is we've looked at we've looked at when we are given the point of inflection and what does it mean, also how to substitute values to try and find the unknowns. The last thing we looked at concave up, meaning when the graph is facing up, the second derivative must be greater than 0. That's it from me right now. We're just going to go quickly to an ad break, and then Phil is going to take you through another question.